So it's 1 week until I'm going to be in Europe. And if things weren't busy enough preparing for a 2-month vacation, then the addition of school holidays, Sarah moving, wrapping up work, amongst plenty of other things, it's been crazy to say the least. But one of the things my attention has been turned to is what to pack for while we're away. And look, if you're anything like me, particular attention will be turned to what shoes I'm taking. I'm going to head out for about 3 hours in the bush now, my second to last long run on home turf. And then I thought I'd run you through my shoe rotation for 2 months in Europe. I'm kind of glad that one's over, to be honest. It was a beautiful morning out. Ended up with 26 Ks in 3 hours, 1,200 meters of vert, at 115 grams of carbs per hour. All the numbers are fine, but I think the honest truth is I'm tired, carrying a little bit of extra fatigue. And that's in part because of the big training block that I'm in the middle of. But my life is also a little stressful. I'm acutely aware that this is social media, and then everything that you see and that I publish is carefully curated, and I can fall into the trap of making myself look better than I am. And look, I'm not here to whinge about my life. My life is pretty good, I'm aware of that, but it isn't without its minor complications and stresses. For example, this week I spent 7 hours in a car on Thursday delivering my kids to their mother for 2 months. It buckled me, absolutely buckled me to say goodbye to them for that long. And look, I'm about to embark on what will be most likely the trip of a lifetime. And so I don't require sympathy, but that was sad. And yeah, I think it's getting to me a little bit. But anyway, I'm probably gonna source myself a beer and then clean myself up and we can knock shoes. All right, shoes. But first, une bière, gingembre. So first things first, this European vacation is gonna be just that. It's a holiday. And so part and parcel of traveling halfway around the world to go on holidays is you need to be efficient with what you're packing. And so I've selected the Mach 5 to be my one and done shoe outside of trail running. There will be the incidental road runs, I'm certain of it, but also there's plenty of walking to be done. Going out for dinner, heading down to the boulangerie, all that good stuff needs appropriate footwear. And so much to the delight of athletes the world over is that running shoes have become quite fashionable. So I selected this white and bronze colorway and I've actually not been running in it a lot because white shoes, while they look good new, as soon as they get dirty, they don't look so good anymore. So I did an easy hour on the road this morning on these, threw in some strides at the end, and as expected, this is the shoe that kind of does it all in the Hoka Road lineup. It's soft enough to feel good as a recovery shoe, but also responsive enough to feel quite good at those higher paces in strides. So I'm taking this. This will be on my feet most of the time, I suspect, while we're in Europe. So now we get to the nitty-gritty stuff. the trail running shoes I'm taking to Europe. The first one is the Tecton X. This is the original. I haven't yet splurged on the updated version of this shoe, but this feels good on my foot. This is the shoe that I raced the Cosy Miler in, and it makes me feel fast. That's definitely something I want while I'm in Europe, and so this is coming with me. I like the way that it fits my foot. I like the way that it makes me feel when I'm running. The traction is incredible, and it's the shoe that makes me feel the best. My only gripe with this shoe is that it's a little firm, and so for the really long stuff, my foot gets a little bit sore. I spent 16 hours in a pair of these shoes at the Cosy Miler, and my feet were pretty beat up at the end of it. So with that in mind, and also the prospect of spending 30 hours, if not more, in a pair of shoes racing UTMB, I'm gonna bring another pair of trail running shoes with me as well. And that leaves us with the Mafate Speed 4. Originally I didn't like this shoe. It felt big and clunky and a little uninspiring, and it did not fit my foot well at all. However, over the past few months, I've grown to love this shoe. I've embraced the runner's lacing heel lock situation, and it fits my foot so much better like that. It's the same jacquard mesh upper as the Tectons, which have a bit of a dubious track record. However, this pair is holding up all right. And so to have both this shoe and the Tecton in rotation while I'm running in Europe, I think has got to be the ultimate combination. And look, the situation of my shoes at the moment is like this. I'm gonna need to buy another pair. Both of my trail runners are getting a little long in the tooth and will definitely need updating by the time I get to the end of my training block before UTMB. So I'm gonna vibe it out. If I had to choose right now, I think I'd buy a new pair of Mafate Speed 4s to race UTMB in. Although having the opportunity to run the trails and then make a decision on what shoe I'm going to purchase for racing UTMB in feels like a pretty sweet setup. And so that's it. Hopefully this didn't delve too deep into shoe review territory, because there's plenty of people on YouTube that are doing that far better than I'll ever do it. But I spend a lot of time pondering these things and also need to generate interesting content for YouTube on a weekly basis. And so here we are. These are the shoes that I plan to take to Europe with me. Training this week was an interesting one. I'm simultaneously feeling fit, but also quite tired. I think the prospect of the week ahead being a little lighter in volume, just through transit and adjusting to time zones and all those good things, is going to be welcomed. But even with that being the case, I took an extra day off this week. I still ended up with over 100 Ks in 10 hours of running and just over 3,000 meters of vert. So not a bad week by any stretch of the imagination, but this is big volume, for me at least. And so in the midst of everything else that's happening as we're preparing to go to Europe, I felt it appropriate to take it a little easy this week. First and foremost, I want to enjoy running. I want to enjoy this trip to Europe, and if I'm broken or injured or tired because I'm trying to train too hard, it's not going to be a good time. So I feel confident that I've made the right decision, took an extra day off. Hopefully that gives the body a little bit of extra time to recover and feel good again, so that when we get over to Europe, I can enjoy running in the mountains. That's the plan. We're nearly there, and so time will tell. But I've got a good feeling about it. This is going to be a pretty special couple of weeks ahead of us. Anyway, plenty to do, so I better wrap this up here. So I'm just sitting here editing this video, and it struck me that I forgot to mention one thing. absolutely the socks and sandals will be coming to Europe with us. That's what